Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. My client, Mr. King, is running late. Bad traffic west of the Trinity.
Okay, when the judge gets on, we'll just let him know, maybe move you to the end.
All right.
Mr. Baker, I'll let the judge's office know to put you last.
Okay, thank you. Is there?
You're welcome.
Do y'all publish a docket?
Don't know that it's published. We email it out, but don't know that it's published somewhere. No, sir.
Okay, well, I get the email notice, but I don't actually get a docket. That's, the Zoom notice.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know how many cases were on the docket.
We have 4.
Okay.
Would you like one going forward?
Sure.
Yeah, the problem is sometimes last minute, people will drop out, so it may not be accurate.
Okay.
Chris,
Well, I kind of got a feel for it. I got the email, saw who was on the email list. And
Yes,
so
sir.
got a kind of feel for how the size
Yes,
of the
sir.
docket.
So if we send someone, it may not be 100% accurate.
I understand.
Okay. Who called my name? Somebody call my name.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Chambers County Probate Court will come to order. If you're going to testify this morning, if you would raise your right hand, please. We're going to swear you in.
Okay, we good? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Cause number 21, CPR 0063, the state of John Wesley King. Oh, Mr. Baker, your client's running late, you said?
Yes, sir. He called and said the traffic was very bad west of the Trinity, and he aimed to be here at 9:30, and he's not here yet.
Okay, we'll skip over you and come back. Cause number 13, 22 CPR 0013, state of Betty Jean Smith. Mr. McCall,
Yes, Your Honor.
good morning.
How you doing?
Good, you may proceed, sir.
Thank you, sir. Your name is Belinda Darlene Sane, is that correct?
Yes,
And your mother was Betty Smith?
yes,
She passed away on January 14th of 2021, is that correct?
correct,
And she died without having a will.
correct.
And you filed an application to determine heirship in her estate.
Correct.
And she was only married once, and that was to your father, Johnny Lee Smith Sr., is that correct?
Correct.
And he passed away back in 2001,
Yes.
and you had one brother,
Yes.
no other siblings.
No.
Your mother never remarried.
No.
She never adopted any other children,
No.
never took any other children into her home.
No.
And you're here, you filed an application to determine heirship, and you're here today asking that the court approve that application and sign a judgment to the effect that you and your brother are the sole two heirs of your mother's estate. Is that correct? Okay. Your name is Darlene Smith,
Yes.
and you're not related in any way to Betty Smith.
No.
Okay. And you knew, you were familiar with her marital and family history,
Yes.
and you understand that she was only married once,
Yes.
and that was to Johnny Lee Smith Sr.,
That's
who
correct.
passed away in 2001. They only had two children,
Correct.
and she never adopted any other children or had any other children come into her home or anything. And we've had an opportunity to review your affidavit of heirship, is that correct?
Yes,
And is all that information true and correct?
it is.
Okay. And your name is Nell Pickett, is that correct?
Yes.
And you've heard the questions I've asked Darlene Smith. You knew and were familiar with Betty Smith's family and marital history, is that correct?
Yes.
And she only married once, only had these two children, no other heirs.
Right.
And you reviewed your affidavit of heirship, and all that information is true and correct.
Yes.
At this time, we ask that you approve the petition to determine heirship, Your Honor. We've also filed an application for Ms. Sane to be appointed as the independent administrator. Her brother has signed a consent, which we filed for her to be the independent administrator. And we ask that you approve that as well.
Thank you, Ms. Price.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Darlene, you and I had a chance to have a conversation about the proceeding here today. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I had asked you one other question or one additional question other than what Mr. McCall asked, and that was that you're not being paid for your testimony today, correct?
No, ma'am.
And that you do not have a chance to inherit under this proceeding, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's all I have for her. Ms. Pickett, you and I also had the same conversation and asked you those same two questions. So you do not also have a chance to inherit under this proceeding today, correct?
Right.
And that you are not paid for your testimony today.
No.
Okay, Judge, what is listed from Mr. McCall is true and correct. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm approving the judgment declaring heirship along with the ad litem fee. And then the order granting independent administration, authorizing letters of administration. Awesome. Anything else, Ms. Price?
No, Judge. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Are we excused?
Y'all are.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge,
Take care now. All right, cause number 22, CPR 0051, the state of Walter Warren. Mr. Walter. There you are. I got the screen full of little faces. I got to find the people. All right, you may proceed, Counselor. I can't hear you. It doesn't show you're muted, but
How about that?
that's much better.
Okay, I apologize.
Quite all right.
The applicant calls herself Loretta Warren.
I'm Loretta Warren.
Hi, Loretta. How are you?
I'm well.
Good morning, Ms. Warren.
Good morning.
And were you on when we swerved one in a few minutes ago?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you may proceed, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Warren, your full name is Loretta Warren, correct?
That's correct.
And you are Walter Ray Warren's daughter.
Correct.
And Mr. Warren passed on April 12th, 2020. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And he was married, he was divorced rather from your mother, Lisa Ann Broussard. Is that right?
Laura Ann Broussard.
Laura, can't read my own handwriting. Laura Ann Broussard, correct?
That's correct.
And he was not married at the time of his death.
No,
And you have one sibling,
I do.
and her name is Darlene.
Jay Warren.
One more time.
Darlene Jay Warren.
Thank you, ma'am. No other siblings.
No other siblings.
Okay. And Mr. Warren was not married at the time of his death, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that was less than 4 years ago, correct?
That's
That he-
correct.
And he was a resident of Harris County when he passed, correct?
He was a resident of Chambers County,
I-
but he passed away in Harris County.
That was a trick question. You passed. Thank you. And there is a necessity for administration of his estate, correct?
Yes, sir.
And he did have a will when he passed, correct?
Yes,
The one that we've submitted to the court.
that's correct.
And at the time of, rather, when we filed this will, in the best of your knowledge, that will has not been revoked, correct?
That's correct.
You're asking the court to appoint you as the administrator of this estate pursuant to your father's will, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness.
All right, hereby admit the will of probate and authorize letters.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have two other witnesses relative to the signatures. If it
Oh,
pleases
yes,
the
you
court.
need to because it's not self-proven.
Yes, yes.
All that. Okay, call your other witnesses, counsel.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, we call Dorothy Warren Henderson. Loretta, I don't know if she made it today. Did she make it?
Yes, sir. It was on.
There she is.
Okay. Ms. Henderson, are you there? Dorothy? I see she's muted, Your Honor.
I'm here.
There we go. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Great. Your full name is Dorothy Warren Henderson, is that correct?
Correct.
And you're well acquainted with the family history of Walter Warren, correct?
Correct.
Tell the court how you knew Mr. Warren, please.
He's my uncle.
When was the last time you saw or spoke to Mr. Warren?
Early April of 2020.
And was he married at the time of his passing?
No,
And there were no children other than Darlene or Loretta born to Mr. Warren, is that correct?
correct.
He didn't adopt any other children to your knowledge either, did he?
No,
And to your knowledge, did he have a will?
not that I was aware of.
And do you have a financial interest in this estate?
No.
Your Honor, pass the witness.
No questions. from court.
Thank you, Your Honor. If it pleases the court, we can call Pamela Parker.
Yes, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Parker,
Yes, sir.
how are you today?
Good. Thank you.
Not putting you on the spot, and I will be brief. Your full name is Pamela Parker.
Well, my maiden name is Hurt, so Pam Hurt Parker.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I'm going to go through the same questions that I asked Mrs. Henderson, just briefly. Were you acquainted with the family history of Walter Warren?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when he passed, the only two children he had were Loretta and Darlene, correct?
Yes, sir.
How long did you know Mr. Warren?
Over 35 years.
When was the last time you saw him before he passed?
Probably just a couple of months or so before he passed. He came by he'd come by the house.
And you're aware of the will that he left, correct?
I don't know any details at all. I know that there was something that had to be done. That's why I'm here.
Okay. Your Honor, if it pleases the court, I can pause very briefly. Do I need to screen share this to bring up the signature?
You can, it can,
Yeah, I do need to bring it up, or may I just proceed with the standard prove up that I did with Mrs. Henderson?
you can proceed with standard proof up.
Thank you, Your Honor. And lastly, Mrs. Parker, do you have a financial interest in this estate?
No, sir.
I missed one question. Was Mr. Warren married at the time of his passing?
No, he was not.
Thank you, ma'am. Your Honor, no further questions.
All right, so you're requesting an independent administration
Yes, Your Honor.
or having the will admitted to probate and letters testamentary?
I apologize. I missed that question, Your Honor.
You're asking for the will to be admitted to probate
Yes, Your Honor.
and to authorize letters. And you've proved up the will since it's not self-proven with your two applicants, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Two witnesses.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to approve the order admitting the will to probate and authorize letters testamentary.
Your Honor, we thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Take care. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
May we be excused?
You may be.
Thank you.
All right, cause number 57, the state of Joanne Irish Street. Ms. Dennis, good morning.
Morning. Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Summerfield, your full name is Miss Katrina Summerfield, is that correct?
Correct.
And you are decedent's daughter?
Yes.
And did your mother reside in Chambers County when she passed away?
Yes.
Okay, and she left a will dated January 15th, 2017?
Yes.
Was she of sound mind to your knowledge and at least 18 years of age when she made that will?
Yes.
Did she have any children born or adopted after that will was made?
No.
Did she get divorced after that will was made?
No.
Has 4 years elapsed since we filed this petition and the death of your mother?
No.
Did the will name the state of Texas or any charity as a devisee under that will?
No.
And there is a necessity for the administration of this estate, correct?
Yes.
And your mother named you as the independent executor of under the will, correct?
Yes.
And you're asking the court to appoint you as independent executor?
Yes.
And you're not disqualified for any reason to your knowledge for being the independent executor?
No.
And so you're asking for the appraisers to be waived and the bond be waived, is that correct?
Correct.
I have no further questions, Judge.
All right, hereby admit the will to probate and authorize letter. Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. May we be excused?
Maybe.
Thank you.
All right, back to the top. Cause number 21 CPR 0063, State John Wesley King. Mr. Baker.
Your Honor, I have my client here, Emory Joseph.
Yeah, we hadn't sworn him in.
King.
Raise your right hand, sir.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct, so help you God?
You can put
Can you hear
your
me?
hand down. How you doing, sir?
Doing fine, sir.
Can-
Thank you. And you?
You good?
Can you hear him fine?
We can.
All right, thank you. The first thing I'd like you to do, Judge, is take judicial notice of the Rule 11 Family Settlement Agreement that we filed in this probate proceeding on May 4th, 2022 at 3:28 p.m.
Yeah, yes, sir. Court take judicial notice of that. Thank you.
Thank you. As an explanation, this proceeding had a lot of legal issues and complications. And so everybody interested in the estate, everybody named as a devisee in the will, and agreed to the probate, to the admission of this will to probate, and to the appointment of my client, Mr. Emory Joseph Joe King, as independent executor, so that he can administer the estate as per the agreement. There's some that need to be taken care of and disposed.
Yes.
So I'll go on with the proof now. Thank you. Now, you are Emory Joseph Joe King, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you were the brother of John Wesley King, who is the decedent.
Yes, sir.
And John Wesley King was also known as John Wesley King Sr., right?
Yes, sir.
Because there's a John Wesley King Jr.,
That's correct.
and we know him commonly as Wes.
Wes.
Yes, okay. Now, is it true that your brother, so that we don't get confused
Yes, sir.
between your nephew and your brother, is it true that he's your older brother and you knew him your whole life?
That's correct.
And he died on or about 26 November 2020 in Jefferson County at the age of 78 years.
Yes, sir.
Is it true at the time of his death he was domiciled in owned property in Chambers County, Texas, and he lived at 210 Durr Road, that's with 2 R's, Durr Road, Winnie, Texas, 77665.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
All right. Now, I tender you what we, of course, the original is with the court, but this is a true copy. It's a document dated 26 November 2020. And it purports to be your brother's last will and testament. Is that true?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Are you personally familiar with that document?
Yes, sir.
Were you present when that document was signed?
He called me and asked me to come to the hospital, that he wanted to make some changes. And I wrote this out per his instructions.
Yeah, he had a prior will from 2016 and he wanted to make some changes from that.
That's correct.
All right. And so you came to him and that will is subscribed by 2 witnesses, one being Betty Elaine King. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And the other being a Belinda Turney. Is that correct?
That, I believe was the notary that
Right.
notarized.
So,
She could not get there that day. But she went the next morning and Betty and Wesley's other son, Tony, was there. And I had told her and Wesley and Tony where I'd left the original that I had written out and the money to pay for the notary fee. And that was done out of my presence, but I think was done correctly.
okay. So the point I'm trying to make is that John Wesley King, your brother's signature on that will?
It is.
Is that also Betty Elaine King's signature on that will?
Yes, sir.
And is Betty his wife?
That's correct.
Okay. And then, are you saying you were not present when Belinda signed it?
I was not present when Belinda or Betty signed it.
Okay. Judge, that's why we have the family settlement agreement.
Yes, sir.
Follow me? Okay. Now, is it true that at the time he was married, at the time of his death, he had been married for decades to Betty King?
Yes, sir.
And now your brother only had 3 children. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And they were not Betty's children, but they considered it all one big happy family.
Yes, sir.
And Betty had 2 children. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that was not your brother's children, but they all considered it one big happy family.
That's correct.
All right. Now your brother's children are, is it true, John Wesley, Wes King Jr., Anthony Carl, Tony King, and David Eugene King?
Yes, sir.
And now Wes and Tony survived your brother and are of majority age, over the age of 18.
That's correct.
But David died in 2002 on or about 4 June of 2002 in Liberty County, Texas.
That's correct.
He was a deputy sheriff and was involved in an accident.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, Betty's children are Wileen, Yvette Kayla, and Wilfred Irwin LeBlanc. Is that true?
That's true.
And in the will, in your brother's will, he called them his children.
He did.
Yes. Okay. They're the same people.
Yes.
All right. Now, is it true that after the date of your brother's will, there were no children born to or adopted by him?
There was not.
Okay. And is it true that your brother did not apply for or receive Medicaid benefits on or after 1 March of 2005?
None that I'm aware of.
All right. Are you aware, do you have personal knowledge of your brother's estate, you know, things that he had, things that need to be done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we've made in the family settlement agreement, an agreement to sell like the motor vehicle and some other things and distribute money and take care of that with some authority, have somebody in charge of the estate with some authority.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that said, Your Honor, we offer the will to probate and ask that you admit it to probate based on, we also waived the right to a jury and waived any objections in the family settlement agreement. That takes care of all that.
Right.
Because we've settled everything, compromised
Yes.
and settled. And so, and appoint my client, independent executor of this state to serve without bond and waive appraisal.
Well, congratulations on getting a settlement. If not, Mr. Baker was gonna get all the money out of the state. Yeah,
He was very generous to the family, sir.
yeah, I know. He's a good guy. I don't care what people say. All right, I hereby admit the will of probate and authorized letters of testamentary. Good to see you, Joe. Good to see you, Richard.
Good to see you, Judge.
Thank you.
Take care.
You guys have a good day. Take care.
Okay, we're gonna sign off.
We are too. Thank you, ladies.
Yes.
Thank you.
Adios.
Miss Melinda, don't sign off yet. I want to see about troubleshooting yours.
Okay.
No, don't sign off, he said. Oh, did you?
Melinda, you say you're muted, but I can hear you. It
You
shows
can
you're
turn on
muted.
mine.
She's sitting in the same room.
Yeah,
with
she's
the
in the
judge.
office.
Oh, okay.
But you don't need me to stay on, do you?
No, sir, you're fine.